If everybody just,
I mean, it's a pretty hefty crowd out here, so.
I know.
Yeah, it wasn't like last month.
Okay, if you're not talking through your microphone,
Why
let
is
me go
mine?
live.
It's not working. I'm not on. Mic check. Figures. I wouldn't mute mine all the time, too. Yep. See? Test. No? Can you hear me now? Nope. We would like to be out of here by 7, but if my microphone's not working.
You got some good publicity there.
It's nice to be famous, you know.
I don't get it. What is it?
It's the Newberry Garden Yard of the Month Award. This is the most prestigious award in the state of Florida. Right?
I will never receive that.
Lay it on us.
Most prestigious award in the entire state. It might be the whole country.
All right.
I drove by your house for the first time today. You sound like a
See? Yeah.
All right. I am calling this meeting of the Historic Architectural Review Board to order. It is 6:01. Do I have an approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve the
I
agenda.
have a motion from Ms. Baker.
I second that.
I got a second from Vice Chair Long. Do I have any? Wow. All right, public comments, please limit one. We're going to limit some here. It's serious. Do we have any public comments on the agenda? All right, hearing none, do we have any comments on the agenda? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All right. Since the newest garden of the month, Mr. Newberry Garden Club Yard of the Month, Mr. Jordan Marlowe, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I'd be happy to. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, listen, when you win the most prestigious award in the state of Florida, possibly almost a nation,
Yeah.
you can get a little tongue tied. All right. So the consent agenda. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Yes.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion from Ms. Baker.
I second that.
I have a second from Member Long, or Vice Chair Long. Any comments? Public comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. And agenda items updated on funded state small matching grant for historic resource survey. So happy you were able to make it. Hope everything's okay at the vet.
The dog is home and
Okay.
passed out. So the anesthesia has not worn off yet. My name is John Paul Perez with the City of Newberry Planning and Economic Development Department. I'm going to be starting a new trend where I have items that I bring before the board that don't bring 30-plus people to the commission chambers.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tonight I'm happy to present to you that we have an update on the state matching grant for our historic resource survey. We did rank 29 out of 48 and were awarded the grant, so we'll be beginning a new historic resource survey. On the screen before you is a map of the boundary of the current historic district, and the markings are the contributing structures within the historic district. There are approximately 83 contributing or resources noted in our 2011 survey. In this new survey, we're going to be looking at 40 additional items. In March of 2021, the board directed staff to start updating the historic resource survey. Again, we applied and were awarded, starts July 1st. We were awarded $31,000 with a 1-to-1 match unless waived. Since we're a certified CLG, certified local government, that matching requirement is waived for us. City of Newberry, oh yes, is in good standing, therefore no match is required. Sorry, I'm not reading my own slides, just getting ahead of myself. And again, we're going to be updating the existing historical resources. About 83 were identified. We've estimated about 16,600 for that. And then looking at the 40 additional will be about 24,600 that we're looking at. Just some definitions for the board, just so you're familiar with some of the terms that may be coming before you guys in the near future. As we get into this, a historic resource or property is a prehistoric or historic district site, building, structure, or object included in or eligible for inclusion in the National Register of Historic Places. Such terms include artifacts, records, and remains which are related to such district site, building, structure, or object. And then historic property is a district site, building, structure, or object, I should read, significant in American history, architecture, engineering, archaeology, and culture. Part of the process is we're going to be doing some research, then the field survey. We'll be organizing and presenting the survey data. We'll be evaluating that data, and then we'll be developing an inventory that'll be for inclusion in the resource survey. At this time, no action is required of the board. If you need a copy of the 2011 Historic Resource Survey, we can provide it to you electronically, and I'm available for any questions if you have any.
Does the board have any questions?
I have a question, of
Certainly.
course. I just want to know, because I couldn't tell on that map, and we didn't get a copy of your map in our packet, but the, down by the city yard, the electric building, the old, what's it called?
The
Power plant, right, thank you. Which has all of the stuff, where, all of it there still.
Okay.
And several engineer kind of people that I know have been down there and looked at it, and they feel like we could probably repair that and get it into working order again. And it would, along with that, and when you're in that plant where all of that stuff is, there's a large room that you, I guess we walked through it, but there's a possible opportunity for a donation for some tools and farm stuff, I don't know. But is any of that on this, has this been looked at as part of this survey?
That's a great question. I'm just going to tap Brian Thomas, the director, to see if that's included in the 40 that we're going to be looking at.
I believe it's called a punt.
It is, I'm sorry. It is in the 40?
No. We have looked at that structure and considered various opportunities to put that structure into use. We've looked at the possibility of turning it into some kind of a museum. We've looked at the possibility of offering it for lease to private sector so that they would rehabilitate it. We'd still maintain ownership, but we would lease it out and put a business in there while maintaining the historic character of the building, including the power plant generator itself. That's probably the most likely use that we think the commission is interested in. Is it's
I'm
the
sorry,
cost
Brian,
to
did you say restoring the generator?
at least not restoring it to full use because there's no practical application
No
for
application
it.
for it, correct.
But in other similar type of historic structures or museum pieces, they restore it to the point where it looks new. You know, you might
Right.
sand it, paint it, and restore it that way, and you might actually put an electric motor on it to turn to the crank so that it looks like it's in operation. That kind of thing, just for the historic value of it and in demonstration value, but not restoring it to full actual use. I'm sure, just based on being around big motors and things in the past, that it's very loud when you actually fire it up. And so if you had a museum, it would be difficult to be inside the building while that was actually operating. It wouldn't lend itself to a museum setting. Or even if a business owner restored the building for a private sector use, it wouldn't. That's why people usually put electric motors on them, just to turn the crank so that you get some active motion and you get the sense of what it looked like when it was in operation, but you don't have the actual noise and smells and everything else that come with it. But that's generally the plan that the commission has told us is go find the best opportunity to put it back into productive use and come back to us with proposals.
Okay. I'm glad that somebody's talking about it, because we've talked about it for years and years and more years. And it was a true miracle when Newberry, this street out here, one block that way and one block that way, got electricity. I mean, truly, it was. And that's historic, and it's stuff that the kids in school need to know about. And I thought it would be very dangerous to take a school group in there, and I still do. I'm not sure kids should go. We'd have to do a lot. Not right
Yeah.
now, for sure.
There is an open cistern still.
Yes, there
in the
is.
building,
It's
which
very
is
deep.
dangerous.
Very deep, yes. It's
Mr.
scary
Chair.
in there. It's scary in there. But I just was curious if we're looking forward to maybe reorganizing or holding, I don't want it.
I'm
I
sure
don't
it'll be
want it to
addressed as
go
part.
away. I
Yeah,
want it
it'll
to
be addressed
stay.
as part of the evaluation of the existing structures that are already on our list.
Okay, good.
But not much beyond that. But we have looked at different opportunities based on direction from the commission, what they'd like to see the building
All
Mr.
right.
Chair.
done.
Yes. I think it would be a good idea because the commission has actually had a presentation on refurbishing the building. We've got some architectural designs, some renderings of what it would look like. If we did that, we have some estimations of costs. I think it would be appropriate to present that, give that presentation to the HARB, get their feedback. The commission right now is, I would say, a little split. Everybody wants to fix the building, but no one really wants to pay for it, which is always the problem. So one of the opportunities to pay for it is that private partner, relationship where we give them a very reasonable lease and they invest the money to fix it. So that's kind of where the commission is. But I think that those renderings and that presentation, so that you guys could see what the building could look like. Remember also that when the two-way pairs come through, that facility will be on a major road. So it means that it really would be viable for some private entity to do something out of that building. There's multiple historic structures on that building because it's not just the
Right.
the electric plant. The jails, Newberry jails, are also on that site, and so we've got a lot of conversations to have.
All right, and I will volunteer right now, if there's another committee, I would volunteer to be on that committee. But that's a scary place like it is. It really, truly is to go up in there, yeah. So it's a lot of work to be done. Not just trying to get it, just being able to safely walk up in there is scary. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No? All right, thank you very much. Appreciate that, JP. All right, we'll move on to topics for members' discussions. Ms. Polo, I love your hair.
Thank you very much. I have no comments.
All right. None? I don't have any comments, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Parker? Because I butcher your first name, so I'm just calling you Ms. Parker from now on. All right, staff? Oh, hold on a second, one moment. Oh, let me just circle back real quick here. That Mayor Jordan Marlowe's historic farm, because it is historic, is officially I need to recognize it again as Newberry's Garden of the Month.
first rural yard of the month in Newberry history.
I think it's the Volkswagen Bug that really sealed the deal. Just saying.
Actually, the truth is too, because we started with this,
Oh.
we have other farm people that would maybe like to be recognized. I mean, you know, so there may be coming soon. Hope not, it's just so complicated.
Since we have a member of the.
Farm of the month, I don't know what you would call it, a farm of the month, I don't know. But I will say, with you, and I was gonna say this later, I'll wait and I'll make my little speech later, but it was a good visit.
Member Woodcock, if I can ask, is it strictly to just homes, or can a business participate in Garden of the Month?
Home of the month, house.
Home of the month, okay, so like a business,
Yard of the month.
okay. Well, I was thinking there's some businesses that
Nothing to
could,
do with the house or the property, it's the yard.
Right.
And we have yards that have, total, no lawn or grass, no, they just let everything go to nature and let the wildflowers bloom and so it's not mowed or, I don't know, but.
Very diverse.
So you don't have to have a maintenance yard,
Mhm.
or a high maintenance yard, like maintenance. But it's, depends, so it's a yard, and we drive around, the city is divided into quadrants, so we try to touch one quadrant every,
They
Every
just
month.
randomly drove by my house. They
yeah,
didn't, I
well,
had no idea.
you're pretty random.
I will say that is a very dangerous road to be driving on, by the way.
Yeah, I
So,
thought of that
Yeah,
when I
that
was
curve
driving.
is, I've never been down there.
yeah, that curve is intense.
Boy, I'm glad there's no watermelon buses going, going out there.
Or,
Yeah, that's kind of, it's a selective, and there's a committee, of course, that's in charge, and they are diligent. And we've also contacted, can't remember her last name, I don't know why, ever Carol and lunch with today, and she's working with us to work with postings and stuff in the newspaper.
not for yours, for the next one. All right, so if that's all for our discussion, this meeting is adjourned. You can hang out.
Yeah, look at that. Big home day. Congratulations.
Football practice.
Oh, it's only 104 right now. Be all right.
Jesus, so hot.
They have to start calling out now, so it's 105.
Monday through Thursday this week too.
Yeah, Newberry High School, the practice has changed now. It's 4 to 7 versus 6 to 8.
Ours is 6 to 8.
Yeah, ours is, high school is 4 to 7. All right, you guys ready to jump into the next one? All right, so with that being said, we're still live?
You too.
Bye, Ms. Parker.
I listen first, it's kind of important.
Are we still live, right? We're good? All right, so I'll call to order the City of Newberry's Planning and Zoning Board at 6:18. We have a motion. Do we have a moment to review the agenda? If everybody had a moment to review that, if I can get a motion to approve
Motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
all right, I got a motion from Ms. Baker and a second from Ms. Long. Ms. Woodcock, it's been a long day. From Ms. Woodcock, do we have any comments on the agenda? No comments. Public comments? None. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Planning and zoning meeting minutes? Any changes? No? Good.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve from Ms. Baker.
I second that.
I got a second from Vice Chair Long. Any comments? Public comments? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All right, and we are, oh, great, I get to pull the handy dandy Or is it? Quasi judicial. So I will read this out. City attorney or chair shall read into the record the ordinance resolution by title and number, or the applicant's name, file number, the subject matter to be decided if there is no ordinance or resolution. Then the city attorney or chair shall explain the rules concerning the testimony. Primarily that the substantial and competent evidence must be met when the board makes a decision, and shall state the following: all public testimony will be taken under oath. Everyone testifying will be subject to cross-examination. All documents and exhibits shall be entered into evidence. The giving of opinion testimony is limited to experts. Closing arguments will be limited to the evidence of record. Go ahead and explain the procedures and order of the presentation. At this time, I will ask any applicant or staff that is wanting to speak on the matter to please stand. And if you can, raise your right hand and be sworn in by our city attorney.
You swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? I am, Mr. Chair, all the witnesses have been sworn.
All right.
They don't have to say their name.
Huh?
They don't have to say their name.
Only, well, just for Janine, yeah, and they'll say their name on the thing. We'll go ahead and disclose any ex parte communications. Can I do that once for both matters? Yes. All right, has anybody had any ex parte communications on both items? Ms. Polo? Ms. Woodcock?
No.
Ms. Baker?
No.
I have not. Then the presentation order will follow. Staff will give an overview. The applicant will go ahead and present with no time limit. Staff report and their recommendation with no time limit. No third-party interveners have been contacted. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes. The applicant at that point may cross-examine. Staff may cross-examine. Then we, as a decision-making body, through the chair, may ask questions of staff, applicant, party, interveners, and participants. And then a final argument may be made by the applicant and then staff related solely to the evidence and testimony presented at the hearing and introduced into the record. The city attorney will advise the decision-making body as to applicable law and factual finding that must be made to approve or deny the application. We'll go ahead and deliberate we'll have a deliberation of the application. After deliberation, a vote shall be taken to approve, approval conditions, continue, or deny the application. So with that being said, staff, will you present your overview?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Mr. Mayor, members of the Planning and Zoning Board. My name is John Paul Perez with the Planning and Economic Development Department. Tonight I am presenting to you Site Development Plan application number 2210. This is for a proposed 2,400 square foot addition or commercial building adjacent to the existing building 2 in the square at Newberry Town Center at Country Way, which is the Stonehouse Neighborhood Grill. Chris Potts is the agent, and Trip Norfleet of Norfleet-Green Development 2 LLC is the owner. This is the general location of the site. This is the commercial component of the Newberry Town Center. Here you can see the proposed building location, which is just south of the restaurant. Again, it's approximately 2,400 square feet. And in the building, there will be a bar and seating. Outside, there's a proposed fire pit and additional seating. The building will be connected to the restaurant by breezeway for food service back and forth. And they will be closing the proposed driveway connection of Southwest 17th Drive that runs on the south side of that building. Here you can see the proposed building, and just a little bit west of that you can see the intersection where that Southwest 17th Drive would be. There's where the food service would be brought back and forth between the two buildings. That is Southwest 17th Drive that will be closed. And as a condition of the approval, we're asking that they repair this area. So it's not a stub road, it's an actual pedestrian area. And We did find the application consistent with the master plan for the site, as well as the comprehensive plan and the land development regulations. As such, we're recommending approval with the following conditions: that they improve that stub road area on Southwest 17th Drive at the intersection, and also to resolve any outstanding comments by the development application review team. Any questions for staff, or would you like to hear a presentation from the applicant at this time?
Well, we'll go ahead and go to the applicant and then we'll ask questions once it's done. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chris Potts. We don't have a presentation tonight, but I'm here to answer any questions that the board may have.
Okay. Now, you guys might want to sit down for a while. We do have a list of public comments awaiting, so bear with us here. All right, public comments, hearing none. Take it there's not going to be any kind of cross-examination, so I can kindly skip to members of the decision-making body through the chair may ask questions of the staff and the applicant. All right, and we had a rough one with the public comments now. Let's hear what you guys have to say.
I have no comment.
Okay. Ms. Polo?
I have no pertinent comment.
Okay. Ms. Baker? None?
I mean, I have no comment as much as I frequent there a lot, you know. And I eat the Stonehouse probably once a week, so expansion is probably something that's needed. So I look forward to seeing it. So. And that's a problem for everywhere. So I'm sure that's going to be a handful right there. But nothing other than that.
So it's going to be connected by a breezeway, you said?
Correct. There's just a roof structure between the two buildings.
Okay.
Where that green arrow is, you can see the black squares are the posts, and the lines are the like the drip line of that structure.
Okay.
So that structure open?
It is, yeah. It's just a breezeway, so it's just posts that you'll see, and then
What's
it'll.
on the building itself?
The building, it's. Let me bring Chris up.
Why is the AC off?
But here's the building, and it appears that this is a open building for the most. It has a roof, so it's covered.
So this is a new proposed building, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just the building here. Appears to have a kitchen, bathrooms for staff, dining area, and it doesn't seem to be closed on any of the sides. Those gaps don't have, you know, your traditional markings for doors and windows, so I'm assuming that this is an open building. Yeah, except for that backside is, you know, all enclosed except for that service door.
So is the approval for the condition of, basically it's a restaurant, it's just the extension of the restaurant, correct?
This is essentially an extension of the restaurant. You're
Okay.
correct.
So my only question is, would this, I don't know if this is the appropriate time, and I'm just gonna make that known right now, but is this something that we can discuss with the fact of, can this turn into a, like a catering of, like, I wanna say catering, but, like an event center, correct? Like someone could like have their wedding,
Yeah. I'll defer to Chris on that.
and I don't, like I said, I don't know if I'm stepping out of bounds on this one. I'm just kind of curious to know if that's the case too. Is there any special exceptions that need to be made to make sure that this doesn't get like stopped along the way?
The idea is that it's for outdoor seating as well as event space.
Okay.
So in the future, if it is booked out for, you know, a reception or business party or something like that, it can.
Okay. So the only reason behind my question is that, I mean, I've loved what Stonehouse has done. I just don't want it to be that we approve it for a restaurant today, and then tomorrow it's like, oh, but we're gonna do events, and then it's like, well, that's technically not what you got approved for. So I'm trying to find out, make sure from staff if they need anything from us, just to help prevent any headaches for you
Appreciate
guys.
that.
Is there anything staff that we need, or can they do an event without further approval from the commission or the Board of Adjustments?
To the best of my knowledge, as long as the use remains restaurant, commercial, or, in nature,
Okay,
there wouldn't be any additional requirement for, an alternate approval to what they're already approved for.
okay,
Yeah. It's my understanding that there's already like outdoor events occurring at the square.
correct, yeah.
So,
Mr. Chair, I believe in the PD for the town center. It already addresses events. So there's some numbers there
Okay.
that they have to hit to. I did have a question. If the board approves this, and let's say, a year from now, the owner says, man, it's hot, and this isn't working. We gotta close all this in and air condition it. Does the approval of an open air, did they have to come back and say, now we wanna close it, or could they move right ahead with closing it all up?
Similar to what
Say-
they've done recently.
what's being approved today is like the building itself.
Okay.
Whether that has windows or not windows is not something that would typically come back to the board. We would just work with them through building permit. Is there an aesthetic concern that you have,
No, I just
Mr.
want,
Mayor? or-
if this is structurally sound and they could just close it off to air condition it because the
Yeah.
open air thing didn't work out, is that something that generates the whole process, or do they just have to contact, or they even not even have to contact, they just have to close it in?
There would be a building permit, definitely. There's certain things get triggered because of that, mechanical and whatnot. But definitely they'd have to come into the city, but they would not be required to go to another public hearing for that.
I have one question. So unlike the other buildings that are in the square, that a one-story structure, or that'll be a two-story?
This is a one-story structure.
Okay. So it'll be completely different than everything else.
While we got the engineer here, I would simply say that when I'm sitting in Stonehouse, the windows are so high that when the sun comes down,
Oh, yeah, it's
the sun comes even when you're inside. So maybe some overhangs on that side. I'm getting a sunburn. I come home and I went out to dinner. My kids say, "What happened to your face?" Like, well, I ate at Stonehouse. I got a burn, right?
The west side?
Yeah, you gotta. Time of
Even if
day,
you're
you gotta
sitting
sit.
in the booth, you'll get hit, right?
Yeah. Just
They're going for the Rainforest
Just thoughts.
Cafe feel, but
some blinds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Mr. Potts. I mean, you're the engineer. So with the one-story structure being said, I know that, and I guess this is more a question for the engineer. Being that it's one story, you can still structurally sound a building to eventually make it 2 stories if need be. I mean, yes, it becomes, there's a lot of work that goes into it, but it is a possibility. Is to the mayor's point, would that be something that you guys are looking at, as well as, I know it's 1 story right now, but hey, Mr. Norfleet's like, I want in the future to be able to put apartments if I needed to upstairs, or, make it a 2-story deal.
So right now, there's no intention for that, but if another use was added, we would have to come back before the board
Okay.
for that because of parking and other requirements. But closing in the space for air conditioned, since if the overall seating isn't changed and none of the parking requirements change, then it'll just be a building permit.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think most of us here are big fans of Stonehouse.
But the architectural style is the same architect who designed the original restaurant. So they'll,
Oh, perfect. So you can relay the message of the sun issue.
yes.
Perfect. It is kind of annoying that we're all like trying to squish into one side
We're
of
getting closer.
until the sun finally caves and we're like, okay, we're good. Yeah, I saw somebody wearing sunglasses inside. I'm like, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh, that's why. All right. Do we have any other questions on this particular topic? All right. So if we have no questions, city attorney, will you advise the decision-making body?
I certainly will. This is substantial and competent evidence standard, Mr. Chair. And if you'd like, I'll go ahead and read the resolution by title only.
Yes, I believe we forgot that.
Glad to do it.
Key.
This is Resolution 2022-44, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Newberry, Florida, serving as the Board of Adjustment of the City of Newberry, Florida, approving the application for site and development plan approval for construction of approximately 2,400 square foot commercial building in a PD plan development zoning district in the associated site development pursuant to Section 14.12 of the City of Newberry Land Development Regulations located in the square of Country Way on a portion of Newberry Town Center planned development approximately 8.53 acres within the corporate limits of the City of Newberry, Florida, on a portion of parcel number 02544-003-000, repealing all resolutions in conflict, providing an effective date. The appropriate motion will be to pass resolution number 2022-44 SDP 22-10 upon its reading by title only.
All right. With that being said, we can go ahead and deliberate. Deliberate away. Nothing. I wrote down, if we're not gonna deliberate on it, I was in a motion to approve with the conditions mentioned by staff. I don't know if I need to get into specifics, but I feel like maybe that motion would be good enough. So, motion to approve with conditions mentioned by staff.
Second.
And I have I did the motion, second from Ms. Baker. And for those that don't understand why I repeat that is because later on in YouTube, when she wants to make sure that we're able to hear who made the motions. All right, any comments on the motion? Public comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. This will go before the Board of Adjustments on 8/22. All right, and we will move on to the next agenda item, which is we are still in quasi judicial. Before you do that, Mr. Attorney, if you can read into the record the ordinance, please.
Yes, sir, happy to do so. This is Resolution 2022-45, a resolution of the City of Newberry, City Commission of the City of Newberry, Florida, serving as Board of Adjustment of the City of Newberry, Florida, approving an application for site and development plan approval for construction of approximately 13,500 square foot mixed-use building in a PD planned development zoning district and associated site development pursuant to Section 14.12 of the City of Newberry Land Development Regulations located in the square of Country Way on a portion of Newberry Town Center planned development approximately 8.53 acres within the corporate limits of the City of Newberry, Florida, on a portion of parcel number 02544-003-000, repealing all resolutions in conflict, providing an effective date. The appropriate motion at the appropriate time will be to pass Resolution 2022-45 upon its reading by title only.
All right, thank you, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, sir.
We already did ex parte, and it's all yours, GP.
Thank you. Again, my name is John Paul Perez with the City of Newberry Planning and Economic Development Department. I have a presentation for you for Site Development Plan Application 2211 for 13,500 square feet approximately of mixed use, known as Building 3B within the square at Newberry Town Center at Country Way. And similar to the last one, Chris A. Potts is the agent, and Trip Norfleet with Norfleet Green Development 2 LLC is the owner. This is the general location of the site within the City of Newberry. This is the commercial component of the Newberry Town Center PD. This is the general location of this attachment to Building 3. What is being proposed is 13,500 square feet of mixed use. That'll be 6,704 square feet approximately of gym space on the ground floor. I understand that there's a gym in the existing Building 3. They'll be expanding into this new ground floor space. On top of that, the second story, they're going to be putting in 6 dwelling units. So there will be an additional 6 dwelling units.
Similar to what's there now, correct?
Correct, 100%, yep. The residents will be gaining access to the residence through a loggia at the rear, the connection of the building, or a stairwell on the west side of the building. Here's a floor plan, or a ground floor plan of the building that was presented as part of the site plan application. And here you can see the connection between the two buildings on the east side. And the proposed Building 3B is consistent with the PD master plan, comprehensive plan, and the City of Newberry land development regulations. As such, we're recommending the board forward a recommendation of approval to the Board of Adjustment.
Is there any conditions on that approval that you're requesting?
On this one, none.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
All right. As the applicant, did you happen to have a presentation on this one too, or just for questions?
No presentation, just here for questions.
Okay. So with that being said, no public comments. If we have questions, now's the time to ask. JP, thank you for answering that question on, it's gonna pretty much mirror image what's currently there as far as residential's being on top. Now, our ex-vice chair Gavin brought up a point, being that it's zoned for a gym, does anything need to, similar to my comment previously on the restaurant, do we need to put anything in here to help you guys out if the gym says, hey, we're gonna sell and we're gonna make this a different commercial space? As long as it's still zoned for commercial, we're good, correct?
Correct.
We don't, it doesn't matter that the verbiage says gym on there.
For this particular approval, no, they could come in and change it as long as whatever the use is proposed is consistent with the master plan. We would be able to approve that administratively without having to amend the PD.
Basically, anything that falls under the commercial general or commercial intensive categories
Okay.
is allowable within the commercial space in the PD.
Okay, I just didn't want it to hinder Mr. Norfleet if he, the gym didn't work out and wanted to move on to something else.
Certainly.
That it has to be a gym. All right. Any other, do you have questions?
Mr. Chair, I have one question. It's connected,
Yes.
but it's not going to be a continuous connection. Is that what I'm understanding?
The-
Is this in addition, like, linked with you were talking about the loggia, is that?
Yeah, so the residential on the second floor will have a loggia, so that's exterior, they'll have to go through unair conditioned space to go from one residential building to the next residential building.
Gotcha.
On the ground floor, however, that appears to be all air conditioned space between the two buildings, and what's connecting them is a wall and a doorway.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any questions? No. Ms. Baker? Ms. Woodcock? All right. All right, if we don't have any other questions, if we need to deliberate, we can deliberate it, or I will entertain a motion. We're not deliberating. City Attorney, advised decision.
Competent and substantial evidence. Mr. Chair.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
I'll motion to approve. That's all you need, right? Motion to approve. All right.
I second that.
Motion to approve the resolution as read.
Oh, motion to approve the resolution as read.
I second that.
I made the motion, a second from Vice Chair Long. Do we have any comments on the motion? Public comments on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes unanimous. Guys, if we can do this every time,
It's not us.
I mean,
You see the audience? I mean, I don't think,
his end of the bargain, right?
I don't think you see the audience right.
oh man,
We can't control that.
I was expecting like torches and pitchforks coming out.
No
like,
more restaurants, baby.
no more restaurants, no more gym. We want more pizza.
We don't get complaints about commercial. They hate the commercial.
Yeah.
Residential get real sensitive.
All right, topics for member discussion. Ms. Polo.
One thing that, thank you, Mr. Chair, one thing I would like to share with you all is that the Greater Gainesville Chamber of Commerce has released a series of videos on the School Board of Alachua County candidates that are running in the primary election, as well as Board of County Commissioners, City Commission as well, but that's not quite so relevant. But those videos are available if anybody is interested in watching them.
Thank you, Ms. Polo.
They're available where now?
They're available on the Greater Gainesville Chamber of Commerce's YouTube channel. I'm also very glad to forward a link to watch all of them to whomever would like one.
Great, thank you. That's
Thank you, Ms. Polo. Ms. Woodcock.
Well, why don't we go through and I'll come back?
Okay.
I have nothing.
I should have made this comment at the end of the HARB because it's historically related, but and I'm pretty sure this board will meet again before any action is actually taken. But we got great news today. If you weren't aware, we have a committee that has been working with the State Parks Foundation on Dudley Farm. We have located the last remaining structure that was built by someone who was born enslaved on Dudley Farm. After emancipation, the family stayed, worked on Dudley Farm. The family who owns the house now, it's the Perkins House, has donated the house to the State Parks Foundation. And that committee has raised enough money to move the structure on to Dudley Farms. Today, we got the permit from the Florida Parks because it's very complicated, lots of red tape. I'm not going to bore you with all that details, but it has taken us a year to work through this process. So we got the permit. We still have to finish the archaeological cultural survey, which is where they go and do some ground penetrating radar and they look and see what's underneath the ground and those kinds of things. So hopefully within the next 4 to 8 weeks, we will be moving the structure onto the state farm. That will be the completion of phase 1. Phase 2 will be reinterpreting Dudley Farm, the life of Dudley Farm from all perspectives, signage, those kinds of things, so that it tells a full and complete story of life in Jim Crow era America. So really exciting. That committee has done some fantastic work, and we're coming to the end of at least phase 1. So hopefully by the next time we meet, if not by the next to now one, I'll have a date, because I would like to have some sort of public ceremony for the completion of phase 1. Just moving the house is a pretty big step. And then obviously when we get the signage and we get the subsidiary structures, a well and outhouse and everything, so that you really do have a recreated home, we'll have another public event there as well. It's been quite a learning process working with the Florida Parks Department. There is more red tape in that department than anything I have ever experienced, but it's been great. They've been wonderful. So hopefully I'll have a date and a ceremony. That's it'll be cool.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The opioid task force at Newberry, that the commission has asked and appointed. I'm proud to say that Rad Kids training is currently taking place right now in our Newberry Elementary School, and we have some volunteers that are training right now to help empower our kids, to use their voice and to learn that it's okay not just to say no, but to make their own and appropriate decisions on what they feel is not right and what is right. So it's been a little bit of a trek. We still got some hurdles to overcome, but hopefully here soon we can. Huh? More red tape. which is crazy to hear that, you know. You see so much of the benefits for the kids, and there's still red tape galore. But forgot when someone said that when you're doing the right thing and you continue to do the right thing, things just continue to open up. So I'm going to keep believing that and having faith in that. So thank you. Member Woodcock, back to you. Oh, yeah, did staff, attorney, anything? No comments?
Linda, the name you were looking for is Carol Walker. I don't know why, but I can remember that name for some reason.
Are you guys related? No?
Somewhere.
All right.
I
No.
will say our attorney has spent the summer having a lot of fun. He has traveled around and I assume enjoyed himself and his family a lot.
Very much so, except for time spent Saturday and Sunday on I-4. That was not fun.
Never go south.
That's right.
That's the
That's
whole
right.
thing. We found going west, it would get to 19 and
That's-
forget
Yep.
everything else.
Yeah.
Lots to see and do on 19, and nobody hardly knows better.
That's a much better route.
Yes. But it's good you did enjoy living with your family. That's so, you know, I love doing it. So, as you all know, I'm sorry. Yes, okay, as you all know, Mayor Marlowe's farm was selected as Yard of the Month. But when we went out there, we realized it was more than, I mean, we were very impressed, the group that went, the group that awards the medal sign for Yard of the Month. And we've been doing this, the Garden Club, can't remember, gosh, it's been probably about 15 years at least, but we didn't have public information on it. We just sort of wandered around and plugged signs in, and that was it. So now we have Carol Walker, and we're trying to let people know where we are and what we're doing. But when we were there, the antique farm equipment that you preserved, that was, I think everybody thought that was really special, and it's nice to know that people have done that. Hodge Farms, Gail Sue does that too. We all three, and I'm speaking for all three of us. I think Sierra came making 4, but she was there so she could make sure that she could report to the city, to Janine and Brian and whoever, what was going on out there. But we were glad to have her. The children, Jordan's children, are actively involved in every phase of that project that he has going. And you can tell, Emma Jane met us, or he met us with the golf cart thing, and then she and Sierra walked and we rode around, but she enjoyed it. She enjoyed talking to us, telling us different things that she's doing. They have vegetable gardening going on. They have just the style of the farm of what I remember growing up. When I was growing up out on the farm, we had, Mama had the house garden. So you had your little rows of peas, beans, tomatoes, squash, no corn in the yard garden, just stuff that she could walk out and pick and eat. And that's what Lauren is doing with her gardening there. It's stuff that she can use in the house for food. So that we thought was really a unique approach to making use of everything. And we were all impressed and happy to see, well, one of the main things they talked about forever after was that huge oak tree in the back that you were going to make a tree house in. How old is it? Do you know?
It's gotta be over 100 years old. It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
And beautiful branches that go.
The
down.
branches and everything, and so that is
Takes a lot of
being,
work to keep
keep
clear,
it cleared up, yeah.
Other trees keep coming down into it, you know?
Yeah, But I just wanted to say that we were all impressed, well, not only impressed, we enjoyed our visit. And those are the things that I continuously bring up as history of our community, and history that our kids need to know about. And so you should do a field trip. Lauren should do a field trip with some of her, she's 8th grade, right?
That's right. Yeah.
8th graders. We're losing it.
Oh, look at that. You got it fast.
But we can, yes, very nice. That was what we met with. To maintain the past, and I know we have to move on, and I know we have to accept change, but I do love the idea that some of us are maintaining or trying to maintain our past, and especially our farm life is nice. What is that?
It's creeping in.
Oops.
Well,
But
Miss Sharon,
anyway, thank you for inviting us and
I
giving
appreciate-
us such a wonderful tour, and please let Emma know that we really enjoyed being with her.
I will tell her, and my wife and Logan.
And yes,
we had a great
and them,
time.
I'm not leaving them out.
And every piece of that
Emma spent a lot of
antique,
time with us.
She did. She is all into Granddad's Grove, which is her little sheep business.
Yeah.
That she started with my father, and every one of those pieces of antique equipment was stuff that my grandfather used on the farm when he came back from World War II. So they all have a story to tell. They're all were used on the farm, and so it is great to be able to talk to my kids about, hey, that was a horse-drawn plow right there. You had to stand. you had
Well,
to walk
because there was
behind.
no electricity
Right.
out there
Yep.
either.
My grandfather would plow behind a mule with my father on his shoulders, and he'd go about 5 acres a day, right? Now that's a man right there.
Yeah.
I couldn't even do just the plow, you know.
Air conditioning?
No air conditioning.
Oh, are you
Yeah.
serious? Do you know Gabe Green, right? So my dad drove, he did lots of things. He farmed full-time, but he drove the school bus, and he worked in the Swanee store on Saturdays cutting meat, so he was a busy man. But he drove the school bus, and I've come to understand that although there was only 20 in my graduating class, all 20 of them, no matter where they lived, rode his bus, apparently. But the whole thing is, they were going, oh God, road numbers. You know where the park, the Diamond or whatever it's called, ballpark, the
Champions?
Champions, that road to the left, that's a dirt road, right? If you take that road east, that's where Gabe Green, Allison, all of them grew up out there. So they're coming down, Gabe tells his story, and I just think it's so funny. They're on the bus, he's taking them, everybody home. Out in the field, up next to the dirt road, is Clay Electric, and they've got power poles they've laid out. He stops the bus. All the kids get off the bus. They climb over the fence because electric's coming. And they had to go touch the poles. That's how exciting it was. That would have been probably late 40s, maybe really early 50s when they got it out there. We got it a little earlier where we are. But those are things that can't be I don't know, but this is where they had no electricity out there. Probably mid-50s almost before it went out there. But anyway, it was an enjoyable morning.
The same golf cart tour.
We enjoyed our morning. That's it. I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. We enjoy hearing it. All right. Huh?
Have a fill up time anyway, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a long meeting tonight.
I want to make sure I get my full pay. All right. That's it for discussion. Wow, look at that. Before 7 o'clock, meeting's adjourned.